hope so. So I just thought I'd just really quickly before this video starts, just want to mention a couple of things. I'm going to say thank you so much to everybody that commented about my granddad. It was just really heartwarming, and everybody was just brilliant. All of you, I'm lucky to have you all as my subscribers. I really am. I had some lovely messages, lovely comments, and it just really did mean the world to me. So thank you everybody, really, truly thank you. Next thing, a chap called Chris from Pro Horizon Photography is now working with the farm that I work for, and luckily for him, that means he gets to work with me, Johnny 1388 himself. I don't know whether it's lucky for him or not, but yeah, so you'll have to look out for things. Me and Chris will do things together in the future, but don't worry, my channel's not going to change. It's still going to be the same. It's just that I'll be getting a different perspective of things with Chris, which I'm looking forward to, because it's always hard for me to film the outside of the tractor working when I've only got a GoPro and just me. So yeah, so I expect good things. So if you want to check out, Chris has got a channel on YouTube. It's called Pro Horizon Photography. He's got a Facebook page as well, and like I said, he's working with the farm, so you'll see not just me, you'll see everybody, everything, the whole farm, throughout the year. So if you just go on like his page, like his YouTube, you will get to see the farm in its entirety, and you will also get to find out what the farm is called. There's a lot of people have been asking me. So yes, I'll leave it now. So some of the footage you'll see, the more professional looking footage you'll see, is little clips that Chris has lent me, like the drone footage at the start of this video. That's a little clip that Chris lent me, and some other little bits and pieces, and then there's stuff I've thrown together, cobbled together. So alright guys, I'll catch you soon. Good morning everyone, are we all well? I hope so, I am. So things have been a bit hectic since my last video, and I've not had a chance to do any filming, so I thought, I'm just waiting for the Fendt 1050 there with Andrew on it to work some land down in front of me, because I've got caught up. I thought we'd have a look at the drill, and there's a crop over there of some wheat that I drilled differently, organic method, should I say. So we'll just have a look. So as you can see, look everyone, there's the mighty 240 with the Starship Driller Prize on it, and yeah, she's coping. She's not on top of the job, but I'm going up and down, and yeah, this is from the back, so we will have a good look at it, and we'll go and have a look at this some wheat that I've drilled, some winter wheat that I drilled at a different spacing, and I'll show you why it's at that spacing. And this clover's doing well, isn't it? Some clover, bit of vetch. It's going nicely, that. This is that's a pollen and nectar mix. So we drill a lot of the field margins with flowers, certain things for all the insects and all the bees, so they've got somewhere to go and have the breakfast, lunch and dinner. Yeah, that's going really well, that. So we're going to have a look at this other wheat. Yes, turn off. Oh, that were a bit of a walk. I'm only going to go on the headland. I'm not going to go right into the field. So this is a field of winter wheat. I can't remember the variety offhand. I feel differences with this drilling to the drilling I'm doing now is you can see there's a wide spacing. A conventional farmers will drill, there'll be another row in there, but we drill these at 9 inches apart. And there's a wheeling tram line, as you can see, down every single length, because the drill's set to constantly tram line. And there's a bit of a story about we had a contractor coming in and doing some baling, and he said, "Oh, your drill man wants shooting." So why's that? He's put a tram line in every length. I said, well, we're meant to. Are you? And he thought it were crazy. The reason we do that is because the winter cereals we have to hoe. This hasn't been hoed yet, and you can see because it's been so wet, some chickweed down there. What's that? Don't know. What yeah, so there's a tram line down every length, so it's set to permanently tram line. It's because when we're hoeing, it's somewhere for the tractors to drive down. And the Garford hoe works by looking at the crop, and it steers itself down the field. It's got a computer on it which looks at the crop and keeps itself in line. So, and the reason we drill the winter cereals like this is because winter crops take quite a long time to sort of get going. They can't compete very well with the weeds, with the rubbish, so we drill them at a wide spacing, so when it comes dry in spring we can go through with a hoe and hoe all the weeds out, or at least try to hoe all the weeds out. Right, so I'll start from front to back. This is the back of my tractor, and these are all the hydraulic connections. There's loads and loads. I'll take you through them all. First one is plugged into my number 2 spool, that's to power the fan. Second one, which is plugged into my number 3 spool, what does number 3 do again? I can't remember. Oh yeah, that's for folding the wings up. Into my number 4, these two here are for altering my Coulter pressures, and this one in number 5 is for lifting the Coulters in and out of work. So I've got that plumbed in. It's on air brakes, so there's the 2 connections for the air brakes. This big fat pipe here is the return, hydraulic return for the fan. And I've got a wire going up into the cab to the control box, and I've got the light cable down there. And then on the front of the drill I've got these gauges. These 3 on the top show you how much pressure's inside the tank, the hopper, seed tank, whatever you want to call it. It's a pressurized tank on this drill. Not all drills are pressurized, and I'll explain why in a second. This one down here is my wing pressure, and I set my wing pressure off of a pressure release valve here to keep the wings level when it's in work. And this one here is my Coulter pressure. It tells me how much pressure I've got on the Coulters, and that sort of dictates it's one of the things I can use to dictate the seed depth and making sure the Coulters stay in contact with the ground and they're not bouncing everywhere. So to climb up, there's these steps, so I'll just do that now. Right, so I've climbed up. It's a blooming long way up here. So I've just lifted the lid up, and this is inside the hopper. So as you can see there, there's some beans, and then there's another hopper, some beans there, and there's a hopper at the back, which conventionally is used for applying fertilizer. I can put seed in it if I so wish, but at the minute, because it's easy and I get enough seed in here to do or how many hectares, 20 hectares, something like that. I'm not using the back tank because I've got to divide everything by 3, and then when I'm working on 1/10 of a hectare, dividing weights by 3, it just, my math skills aren't that good. Right, so moving on to the side. Excuse me, just burped in my mouth. There is a metering wheel in there, a metering wheel there, and a third one down there. That is a metering unit with the gearbox, and there's another one down there. Now, the reason it's a pressurized tank is because there's 3 outlets there, and this is one tank. If the tank wasn't pressurized and the fan was blowing the seed down, what it'd be trying to do all the time is to blow the seed. If seed's coming out there, it's going to be trying to blow the seed up that one and blow the seed up that one, and creating like a not a back pressure, sort of creating a circle effect of air, and your seed, basically the seed would really be only coming out of one metering unit, which is there. And this is the fan underneath here, which blows air through there down those pipes. The seed is on a roller and it gets dropped down. There's a little handle here which is my section shut off, so I can either drill just the right side or just the left side, and there's one of them on each metering units. So the seed comes, the air comes down there, the seed gets dropped down evenly into these 2 pipes, gets blown round to the back, and I'll show you in a minute where that goes. So the metering units, at the minute I've got this set at 66. Now I don't think these numbers actually dictate anything, but this alters the gearing in the gearbox, which alters how fast the roller spins at the bottom of the hopper. So the more seed I want on per hectare, the higher the rate. Like I was drilling wheat at 200 kilograms a hectare, but I'm drilling these beans at 230 kilograms a hectare. So I want that unit to be spinning faster, and that is changed by altering this. So you unscrew that and you move it, and the higher the value, the higher the faster that spins. And to do that, I'll show you calibrating it at some point. You have to catch the seed in buckets and weigh the seed, and it works in 1/10 of a hectare. So if I want, let's just say, if I want 200 kilograms a hectare, 2 metering units, which will dispense 1/10 of a hectare, I want 10 kilograms out of each unit for 1/10 of a hectare. So I add them together, and that's 20. 20 times 10 is 200. Hey, math skills! Woo! On the side here, this is a nice idea, I like it. A lot of the time, sometimes you'll fill up and then be like, right, you're changing variety, and you're like, oh no, so you've got to empty your tank. For this, just put the blower on, pressurise the tank, open that handle, and whoo, out comes the seed, and it leaves it, you know, it leaves a little bit in the bottom, and then you just open a trap door on the bottom there, and it falls out into the buckets. So moving along, these are the Coulters. These are disc Coulters. You can see the spin. That's where the seed comes out. Now, because I'm drilling beans, there are some plastic Rotec, whatever they're really called, on here that you can adjust the depth with as well as doing your Coulter pressures. But because I'm on beans, I've took them off because I want to get beans 3 to 4 inches deep. So I want them off because I want to get maximum pressure, maximum depth with it. So yeah, that's out. So they spin, cut through the rubbish, and because they're at an angle, a slight offset, and so is that, it creates a little channel. The seed gets blown down there, sorry, I don't think you can see, blown down there, and ends up in the bottom, and then along it comes, and there's some following arrows up there positioned in between every Coulter, which cover it up, and then the press wheels at the top, which run in line with every Coulter and firm the soil up. Got some wheel track eradicators on it. Now, I'm not using these ones because on our light fluffy land, all it does is make the wheelings worse. If I can firm them a bit then that's good. So I was using them to begin with, and I was just leaving even bigger wheelings. I messed about with depths, played about with them a bit, and decided not to use them. The only wheel track eradicators I'm using are these ones here, which run behind these wheels, and I've got them set only that deep, just to fluff it up a little bit behind the wheels, so these Coulters have got some sort of a tilth to drill into. So the lights here, the lights fold up as they go in, like as you fold it out. Some sensors on the back here which register once it's unfolded, that then it does something to the hydraulics, and it allows the distribution heads, or mushrooms as I like to call them, to come out. We'll go and have a look at them. They're on top at the minute. Right, so that seed, when it gets blown down the pipes, ends up here, comes up through the middle, and because the way this is shaped, and because it's basically because the air's at a constant flow, there's all these outlets around the outside, which is an individual Coulter. And because it's pressurized, you get an equal flow of air going down each one. So it blows the seed up, seed hits that, comes around the dish, and ends up being blown down these little holes there, which go down into the pipes, which end up at the Coulter. And that's how you get equal amounts of seed coming out of each Coulter. Yeah, so like I said, blown down these pipes. Here's one, at least of this Coulter. Blown down there, dropped into that channel, and it's in the ground. So we've had a look at the outside, so we are now on the inside. Obviously, Johnny, people aren't that stupid. This is the control box, the Armorlog Plus. Now the drill that I've actually bought, the one when it ever gets delivered, it doesn't have this. It's the Isobus again, so it'll be on here. But we'll have a look at this. So to turn it on, I press that button. Come on. Right, so it's got a few readouts. So that there is my speed. That'll tell me how fast I'm going. And currently I'm not going anywhere because it's at 0, and I'm pretty confident that's correct. So starting across from here, that's the fan speed. So I press that, I put my fan into gear. You can see that's increasing. So because I'm only on tick over, it's not up to full speed, but that tells you the fan speed. This tells you the area. So the field I drilled last night is 37.31 hectares. So when I start a field, I'll set that back to 0. This is to do with the tram lines. So I can stop tram lining so it doesn't count anymore on, or I can add a tram line. So if I come out of sequence for whatever reason, I can skip the tram lines till I get to where I want to be. Because we don't tram line every length with this, you put a sequence in. So after so many lengths, it'll then start to tram line. Underneath, this is just plus and minusing for altering figures. That tells me the tramline sequence I've got in, which is 1. That tells me the width. I alter the width, so I've got it set at 12 meters. That you set your minimum fan speed. If the fan drops below 3,900, I get an alarm to tell me it's dropped down. So, because potentially if the fan speed drops down, then the seed will stop being blown out the back. Right then, so we're drilling. Hey! So here is the Starship Enter drill, and we're going up and down, putting some beans in. It's rather large, I must say. It looks a bit silly on this tractor. Right, so show you what I do when I come to the headlands and altering a few things. So the 1050s, in fact I was in here with the 1050 and ploughed this field, which is why it's so smooth. Why the ride's so good. I'm joking. And the 1050's been in again and knocked it down with the top down, left me a nice seed bed, and it's going all right in here. It's one of the few fields that's not got many different soil types in it. All of our fields have got, well, every sort of soil you can imagine, but this one's just got a patch that I'm on now and a patch a bit further down there, which is a little bit stronger. I'm not saying it's strong, but it's a little bit cobbly. Right, so I'll just slow down a bit, and I've put a mark in there. Normally drill my headlands first, but because the fent was in here before, right, so I'm lifting the drill up now, which is on me 2 buttons here. So I've disengaged my GPS. I'm going to take a nice swing at it. Now, because I'm not using markers, it's not counting my tram lines on. And my next length I'm tram lining, so I'll push this button up here. And now the drill's set to tram line. Engage my auto steer. So get up to the mark just before it, drop them in. Just go a bit steady so the beans get a chance to come out, then just increase my speed slowly. Because if I just increase my speed instantly, then you'll have a thin patch. So I like to increase my speed nice and slow. Right, there we are. So that's a maximum speed, and this tractor will pull it at 9k and no more. So like I said, she's not on top of the job, but she's doing it, and we're still covering the ground, you know. But bigger tractor with more horsepower, and the amount of ground I could cover in a day would be astounding. But it's still pretty astounding on this. And I know a lot of you are going to say you should put it on the 1050, but I can't, because the 1050's absolutely flat out making ground for me, because I'm catching it up all the time. I'm right on top of it, so I can't put the 1050 on because this tractor, my tractor, can't be used to pull the top down. It will not, it'll just sit there. It won't move if I put my tractor on that. So what I'm looking for when I'm looking out the back, I always like to watch my Coulters, because obviously all this fancy machinery and all this fancy stuff, and at the end of the day all I'm trying to do is get some seed into the ground at the right depth. So I'm always watching my Coulters and like slightly adjusting the pressures, because this field isn't strong, this is a light field, so I've got the pressures backed right off. But some of our land where it goes from stuff like this that's black and fluffy, and then you go up onto like some blue clay or red clay, you know, some really nasty horrible stuff. If you don't adjust your pressures, your Coulters will come out of work. And what I'm looking for is if those Coulters at the back are bouncing around like mad, every time they bounce they're coming out on top and the seed's on top. That's not what we want. So I'm always looking at them just to make sure that they're moving. I want them to be moving about, like jiggling, but not bouncing. So if they start bouncing, I'll use one of these spools down here to put a bit more pressure on, and it's some springs that are attached to like a board, which are attached to a ram, and the ram pushes this board out, which stretches the springs which are attached to the Coulters, which puts more pressure on. And then when you want less pressure, it retracts the springs, and you know, you can get from no pressure to an awful lot. You can. So at the minute I've pretty much got no pressure on. I've got a little bit because we do want the beans to be deep. And this field is 105 acres, I think, this field. And I've already done a couple of fields, and I won't be much longer in here. And I've got a 40 acre field to do after that. And then I'll be recalibrating for spring wheat, that'll be the beans done, and then I'll be moving on to the spring barley. And I've only got a few days left really to get it all in, but once I've done it I'll have covered a couple of thousand acre, which is oh you sod, GPS kicked itself out. Oh dear. Right, so we'll go and have a look at the outside.